So I did, several months back, I did a list of Tim Burton's films ranked worst to best, and it got me thinking, why not also do more filmmakers? Because I've been trying to watch every single film of a lot of directors, so why not give you guys my ranking? So for this list, I'm doing Christopher Nolan's films ranked worst to best. So let's get started. So he's done 10 films. So obviously number 10 will be what I consider the worst of his, and number 1, obviously, the best. So let's get started. Number 10 for me is Following, and this is his first film. It's a 1998 film, black and white. It's $70,000 budget, I believe, and it's literally about someone following another person. That's literally the premise. Don't get me wrong, like I can see the appreciation of the filmmaking behind it, but entertainment-wise, it does have its flaws, and in my opinion, there's a certain other film on this list that he kind of got inspired through Following, but did it better in that film. So, again, Following, it's good. I'd give it like a 4 out of 5, but by no means is it great. So, but number 9 is a film that I think is very underappreciated, and I think oftentimes people forget that it's even a Christopher Nolan film, but that's Insomnia. Insomnia is the one with Al Pacino, Hilary Swank, and of course Robin Williams, and it's a really good film. It takes place in Alaska. It's well shot. It's well acted. It's got a neat twist towards, I think it's the halfway mark. It's nice. It's a remake. I have to say I haven't seen the original yet. It's been on my list, but it's a good film, I would say. It's definitely got its mature aspect that, you know, Christopher Nolan clearly was going for, and I like it, I have to say. Number 8 is a film that, when it first came out, everyone was going ecstatic over, like, the anticipation for it, and that is number 8, which is The Dark Knight Rises. Now, you guys see I own it. Now, I have to say, I do like this film. Could have been better? Sure. I'll put in my link box. I actually did a video of how The Dark Knight Rises could have ended, and I think it could have ended a different way. I could have done a longer video on it, and I think that the movie itself could have been longer. But at the end of the day, we got this movie, and I think it's a fitting finale to the trilogy. Again, it's got its flaws, 1 or 2, but it's still a heck of a lot better than most superhero films, aka 99% of them. But Dark Knight Rises, number 8. Number 7 is a film that, it's funny because the Academy really praised it, but, you know, in retrospect, when Christopher Nolan dies years from now, it's going to be probably his least remembered, but I still really liked it, and that is Dunkirk. Dunkirk is a film that, it's the ultimate theater experience. I love this film in theaters. This was one of those films where I actually went on my way to see a real IMAX showing of this, and it was fantastic. Not a character-driven film. It's literally just a film where, you know, you're following these people as they're going about the event, and that's it. It's really good, though. I would definitely recommend Dunkirk. Not for everyone, though, because it is a very loud film. Very loud. But I do have to say, I'm a fan of Dunkirk, even though, you know, for some reason it's getting a backlash. But I like it. It's a good movie. Number 6 is a film that, oh my goodness, it's funny. A lot of people like this film. A lot of people don't. I like it. I like it a lot, actually, in terms of ambition, though. And that is, of course, Interstellar. Interstellar is a film that I really like. I think that, of course, it does, again, much like in the same vein of Dark Knight Rises, I think it does have its flaws. But that being said, I can't deny I do find this to be a very entertaining film, a fitting tribute to Stanley Kubrick. Is it as artistic as 2001: A Space Odyssey? Heck no, but it's still such an entertaining film. It does have a couple flaws, as I mentioned, but it's still an ambitious film, and for a blockbuster, that's saying a lot. So I give Nolan props, because again, a lot of films don't have the balls to actually try and tackle what he did in this film. So, really good film. Interstellar, my number 6. My number 5 is a film that, in my opinion, did inspire Interstellar. You can clearly see certain things of Interstellar that, I mean, well, Interstellar got inspired by through this film, and that is Inception. This film, when it came out in 2010, everyone was surprised that Christopher Nolan didn't get nominated for Best Director, and I think that he did such a great job directing this film. I really do like this film. I think it's one of those films where it's funny because so many people think it's overly complicated and overly convoluted, but it's funny because, yes, if you've never seen a nonlinear film by like David Lynch or any other director, then yeah, of course it's complicated, but it's a film that I saw the first time and I was like, this is really good. I don't know why people are saying it's hard to follow. But what I find fascinating about this film is the multiple ways you're able to interpret this film. Especially you're able to interpret like how each person on the cover can be viewed as like a certain part of the filmmaking process. So I like Inception. Not as complicated as people think, but it is a very, very good film. So now it's number 5. Number 4 is the film that when people say, and myself included, superhero films aren't good. That's what I always say. I think that they are very okay. But this is the film that, to me, changed everything. It inspired not only superhero films, but films in general in terms of blockbusters. Inspired like Casino Royale. Inspired, unfortunately, the new G.I. Joe movies. It inspired so many films. And that is, of course, Batman Begins. The best origin story film ever. I love Batman Begins. I can't even deny that. I really do like this film. It's up there for my favorite superhero films. It's definitely top 5. This is the film that, yes, in the final act, it kind of does turn into what we now consider like the final act superhero film, a big action spectacle. But let's be honest, this is the film that started it all. This is the film right here. So for that, I can't say like, oh, wow, I can't believe it did it. It's like this film started it essentially. So yeah, Batman Begins, love it. Love it. That's number 4. Number 3 is a film that I love. I really love. This is a film that's both quotable, it's ambitious, it's epic, it's ecstatic with its ferocity of messages and philosophy, and I love it. And that would be the film that, in my opinion, should have won Best Picture in 2008, The Dark Knight. Man, oh man, I love this film. This is a film that, yeah, it's kind of cliche to say, oh yeah, I love The Dark Knight, but what's more cliche is saying it's your favorite Christopher Nolan film, which it's not. But it is a masterpiece in my opinion, especially of the superhero genre. This right here is my favorite superhero film, I would say, because it's more than a superhero film. It got inspired by the film Heat by Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, directed by Michael Mann, and it shows, because this is a great film, along with Heat, of course. But that's my number 3. My number 2 is a film that I will never forget the first time I saw this. Actually, I will never forget the first couple times I saw it, and even after that, because this film, it's like a fine wine. It just gets better over time. I love this film. 2006 film, The Prestige. Man, oh man, I love this film. This is a film that it's filled with twists and turns. Sometimes they make it obvious and they just subvert your expectations and then you don't even think about it. This film also kind of focuses on how like each character and even the plot itself could be viewed as from the filmmaking process, as well as other interpretations. But this film, I love it. It's a masterwork, and my goodness, I think it is the best film of 2006. That or Pan's Labyrinth, it is kind of tough, but if you've seen my 2006 Best Picture review for The Departed, now you know why I didn't say The Departed should have won Best Picture. That's a great film, but The Prestige, man, oh man. That's my number 2. Now my number 1 is a film that, let me tell you, every time I watch this film, and I mean every time I watch this film, it just never gets old. It's got one of the best scripts I've ever read. It's got an incredible main performance. Its messages and philosophy I could write paragraphs on end about. And it's cerebral. There I said it. That film is Memento for the number 1 slot. I love this film. This is one of my all-time favorite films, honestly. Which is why I'm going to say something at the end of this review. But first, let me just say Memento is a masterpiece. If you haven't seen it, I believe it's on Netflix right now, so check it out. Do yourself a favor. Go into it knowing nothing. It is a fantastic film. Even if you know what it's about, it's still a fantastic film. It will floor you. If not, okay. Okay. But guys, that's my ranking for Christopher Nolan films. But I wanted to say at the end of this review, Christopher Nolan, he is a director that I know people that hate him. I know people that love him. Let me just say this. I think that he is an ambitious blockbuster director. He went from independent films to blockbusters. Yes, his films have gotten even more ambitious over time, but let me just say this. I think that his films are a masterpiece in terms of entertainment, and I would definitely say that he is one of the best directors working today. But not only that, I say, even if you don't like him, he's still someone that you can aspire to be because he does what a lot of directors fail to try and realize. So, again, he's just a director I get why some people love. I get why some people hate him. I respect his ambition, even if it doesn't reach it to some extent. So, again, I feel in the middle because I really do like his films. Obviously, I own pretty much all of them, but I can see why people wouldn't like him. But again, just my thoughts. Guys, what are your ranking of Christopher Nolan films? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. And as always, don't forget the subscription, notification.